Hey everybody, welcome to Speed Bomb. I'm turning this somber music off. Where's the Killer Instinct Fatal Fury OST? It's time for a haunted Halloween battle. I think at this point we can certainly reveal the games as well.
Yeah.
Do you have a camera?
Oh, I didn't provide you my camera, did I? That is not my camera. I've seen my camera before. It does not look like that.
It's Author Blue.
Hold on. I'm getting there.
I want to show everybody Author Blue. There you are.
Sorry. I can't believe I'm getting bullied live.
Hey, it's a nice shirt. I have that shirt. I was wearing that the other day.
It's my Bubsy shirt. I played Bubsy on GDQ yesterday, and I did not wear my Bubsy shirt. I felt so embarrassed.
I watched that.
What a gaffe.
That was good stuff. I learned a lot about how easy Bubsy 3D is.
Super easy speedrun.
She just cheats the whole time. Just run right up the wall. Damn speedrunners.
Everyone's thinking about how hard that game is. I'm like, well, if you go out of bounds, it's free.
Yeah. Well, our games list. You want to read it? Where's it at? I'm gonna pull up one of them trackers.
Yeah, I can pull it up. This one's out of order. Let me pull the one from the...
I've got it. Adventures of Dr. Franken. The goal, defeat 2 levels. Dragon's Fury, Devil's Crush, the pinball game. Get 5 million points. Ghost Manor, Turbo Graphics. Oh boy. Reach the Manor, Frankenstein's monsters there. Ghoul School. Find the spring boots in the weight room. Night creatures, collect 2 powers, whether it's the wolf, the bear, the owl, doesn't matter. There's 6 animals in there, find 2 of them. Monster in my pocket. Defeat the Kraken. Monster Party. Beat Stage 2, the Sewers. Porky Pig's Haunted Holiday. Beat Level 1 by defeating the Top Hat Ghost. Shiryu Sensen, The War of the Dead. Find the guy named Wells. He's not in the church. There's 2 people in the church and they're not him, so... Splatterhouse, 1 pack of graffiti. Beat Level 2, defeat the Sewer Rat. That's our 10 games.
Yep.
And,
yeah, this, you know, when me and Smite first tried to find a list... he came up with some really off-the-wall stuff I had never heard of, and I was like, okay, I'll just pick all the easy stuff. And then I got annoyed at myself because I kept landing on Castlevania, so I tried to find some good stuff. I think we ended up with a list that's a lot of sleepers, like stuff that people aren't going to recognize as well. So
there's some really Kusto games in there, but the stages that we're doing is not so bad. I think all of these are about on the same page.
I specifically tried to design challenges that were in like the 6 to 10 minute range for the ones that I picked. And, you know, if they finish in 6 minutes every single goal, that's 10 games.
I'm seeing if my players are online. Maybe I have Jerry Ayers' name wrong. I don't see them online.
Jerry has said that he's having some internet issues, so we're either waiting on him or we're figuring out what's going on with him.
Okay.
Checking. I haven't heard from Subwoofers in a moment, but I imagine he's working on it. Wobbly should be up.
Yep, those 2 are the 2. Subwoofers and Jerry I do not see. Here's our screen. We will be pulling audio for this. So the rules are that they can change their game whenever they want. So they have 10 to do. They need to do as many as they can in the hour time limit that they're going to get. And that's pretty much it. They just need to mark their own progress, and we'll see who did the best in an hour. So they do have the freedom, unlike other tournaments that I do, to just sit on a challenge for as long as they want. They can shuffle around in any order that they want. You might not see some of these games at all if they choose not to do them. You know, some of these games like Monster in My Pocket, I feel like is probably the most popular one on here. Maybe Monster Party. Those are good ones. Very known. I think Porky Pig probably will be avoided. Nobody knows who he is. Nobody's heard of him. I've got the screens all set. The tracker isn't a big deal. It's not like we're gonna be calling a winner without referencing some VOD footage here on this, so
Yeah, we figured that the easiest way was to have them track their own stuff rather than getting a bunch of moderators to do it. And for the most part, you know, if there's any discrepancy, we'll cross-reference it against VODs. We've made sure everyone is recording VODs, so we'll have that info.
Well, it is 10 o'clock. Still haven't heard.
Do you know where your children are? I will direct message. Oh, sorry, never mind.
I've not seen some of these games. This is 50% my fault, folks, so...
And the other 50% is also his fault. I just want to make sure that's clear.
Yeah, that's right.
Alright, well, I'm gonna ping one person that I think we're waiting on to at least hear from. And then I think we can get it kicked off if we don't have any more information.
Subwoofers is going live.
Okay, Subwoofer's up. Then the only person we're waiting on is Jerry, I think.
That's right. Pulling that haunted audio for you. I need to get some control over these new additions to my mess. Twitch player 9, come on up. This will be the scene.
Yep, Subwoofer's up, according to Subwoofer.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, Jerry said to go on without them.
Okay. We're gonna be pulling audio from Extreme Zero on this scene. I'm all set.
All right, I'm gonna really quickly type a reminder of what all the rules are, and then give them a countdown. So I'm going to type furiously muted.
Okay, folks. We're going to be bouncing back and forth between the 4 players who are outside of this 8-pack group. Those 4 are not going to be shown as much, but they get to be shown in widescreen. There's a lot of value in that.
Okay, no more furious typing. I reminded them of the rules, but we'll clarify for them right now. for everyone watching. This format obviously is largely inspired by the one that Kusagrande uses. It's a very similar gauntlet format. The one thing we did change is that rather than tracking when people completed, because ties are usually broken in Kusagrande based on time to complete, whoever completed their challenge first, their last goal first, that's how you break the tie. For our purposes, what we're going to do is if we do have a tie at the end, everyone who is tied for first place, the most number of goals completed, we are going to have them play a tiebreaker game. So we do have a plan for that. We'll give them either a short period of time or just whoever completes it, whatever the case may be. In addition to that, if they have questions, we'll clarify for them. They have 1 hour. And they are allowed to play the goals in any order. That's kind of the important detail here, is that they get to assess for themselves which goals they think they're most capable of completing in the time allotted. And hopefully we're going to see lots of really great completions.
Yeah, what he said. Looking forward to seeing a lot of variety here. We already are. We're seeing crazy... Nobody picked the same game variety. I saw pinball in 3 of your games. I don't know nothing about your games.
I got 2 Franken here. We've got 1 person playing Ghoul School. Okami's playing Ghoul School. 2 people playing Wanpaku Graffiti. Fiona's playing Monster in My Pocket. Of these goals, I think some of the most accessible ones, I think Dr. Franken's maybe going to be a little bit of a challenge. I think Fiona is probably playing the easiest ones of the ones we see on the screen. I think defeating stage 2, defeating the Kraken, is a pretty accessible goal.
Extreme Zero is playing the ridiculous, it's Zelda 2, but in like zombie combat form. Like, it's ridiculously bad too. It's so... You can't escape from the RNG. See, he tried to run away from a battle and he just gets jumped again. Leveling up in that game is very important because you'll die in 1 hit to most of the enemies. But if you can just find the dude, you can finish that one up real quick. And I'll tell you what, it looks like Extreme Zero is about to finish up the first challenge just like that, because that's where they are. They found it. They just found the way. They didn't get jumped enough. They made it without getting crunched. They've completed a challenge.
Okami's actually making really great progress. Okami's in the gym, which is right before the weight room, which is actually the goal for this one. Okami's making extremely short work of this one. I expected that they would have some trouble navigating. This is a kind of a maze-like game, and so, you know, we're probably going to see our first real quick completion from Okami on Ghoul School. Over here on Subwoofer's Ice Cream, we got more Monster Party. Monster Party's kind of a weird one. So there's only 2 levels they have to complete, but in each level, there's several bosses. So you go in these doors and you encounter perhaps a boss. You have to defeat all the bosses in order to get the key to leave the level.
Please don't pick on me.
One of the bosses in this first level, you enter the room and it says, "Sorry, I'm already dead."
We're all dead. Nice reflect. Nice parry. Oh, you've been pumpkined.
I gave them some tips that they wouldn't maybe figure out on their own. So we gave them some hints for each game. Usually things like, indicating something they might want to know about the controls or a clue about where they might need to go. For Monster Party, I gave them a little tip that's kind of straight out of the speed run, and that's that you can actually just hold the bat out in front of you while you're jumping, which is really great for fighting bosses, because if it's a boss you can hit with the bat, you can just like hold it in their face and hit them like 3 or 4 times.
War of the Dead, same thing. You can do the same thing in that.
Really nice. Okami almost certainly cleared Ghoul School while we were flipped away. Both Fiona and Okami on Monster in My Pocket. Fiona was originally playing as the monster, but is now playing as the vampire. I guess she's given a different character a try to see what she thinks.
The popular games getting hit first. They're going for your Author Blues picks. I see that.
I'm actually kind of surprised people are sticking with Dr. Franken. I wouldn't say it's a trap goal. I think that if you're really methodical and take your time, it's not that bad. But it's a tricky one. It's definitely a tricky one. You have a really limited number of lives, and you just die so easily in this game. So completing 2 stages on 1 set of lives is not a small ask.
I'm seeing Tim Sparkley's been working on Devil's Crush. That is the Genesis version. If you can get the 5 million, I mean, I feel like we're not able to call much in this race at this point. It's going to be coming down to like when we're at 50 minutes, then we'll see how people are really doing, because somebody's going to have to play pinball as well probably at some point, and that 5 million is going to be a tall order. They're going to have to do some of these hard ones. They're not all free.
Yeah, reasonably, we're probably going to see every single person take on every single challenge. So it's really just a matter of whether or not they get to some of the accessible challenges early on. We definitely tried to design the goals so that it was not trivial to complete 10 of them. If we had a whole bunch of people completing 10 of them, that would be bad.
I was watching M Sparkly try and do that. I wanted to see that bonus round get beat. There were a couple hits away from... You tend to get like 3 or 4 million points pretty quickly when you're doing bonus round stuff and winning. And they were so close. It will take a while to grind the points out is the thing. It will not be easy to do it without completing the bonus rounds. It's a lot of points to just get.
So far, I haven't gotten any clarifications asked for. We tried to give them pretty good indicators of what they needed to know. Their document included a quick recap of the controls for every single game, which hopefully helps them. And then, as I mentioned before, the hints for each game.
There are 11 players right now. 7 of them are on this screen and 4 are on the other. And Jerry did not make it. We're just swapping back and forth between the screens every minute or so. We are 7 minutes in. We've seen at least 2 clears that I know of. I would find it hard to believe that Extreme Zero knew War of the Dead that well. I think they just lucked out on finding Wells. That game is unusually difficult. Just really imagine Zelda, but like Iron Knuckles were at the start of the game, and like just ridiculous combat. Any enemies who just one-shot you all the time. You're supposed to grind. I was watching a long play do it, and they spent like 20 minutes grinding XP at the start.
Digital Basic and Starman are both right at the end of Wampaka Graffiti, so Digital Basic is now fighting the boss for that challenge.
Let's mix it up.
Some of these fights are pretty hard. I had them go all the way to the sewers because level 1 was too short, but level 2 is a surprisingly big ask.
This Medusa is winning. Oh, nice. Coming in clutch. Back to the other screens. Welcome to Devil Town. Password quotes 3739. Here comes Tension, Dragon's Fury. Pinball on 2 screens at once. You love to see it. I think this is a pinball game that a lot of people will have some experience with if you played the Genesis. This is the pinball game on the console. It's the Space Cadet of the Sega Genesis. But it ain't easy to guarantee 5 million points. I see Digital Basics already halfway there, though. If you can just hang on and complete the bonus rounds, if you can also, there's many bosses on each floor of the table that are also worth millions of points. You only have 3 lives, so you're gonna have to play pinball well. You have a shake button. That's really the big secret about pinball, is knowing how to shake the table without screwing up the table and tilting. That really gets you out of a million jams, like what just happened to Mr. T, just got drained. Shaking the table might have saved that, but amateur players are not comfortable, understandably so, with that concept. And then there's the other aspect of pinball, which is knowing the rules of the table. Each one of these tables, all of them, every table we've ever played on has a million things going on that you don't know about, and you can get extra balls and millions of points doing this and that, lighting things up. So having that information and knowing what you should be aiming for is also good.
I'm clarifying something really quickly for them.
Yeah, I don't know why, but Sega renamed Devil's Crush to Dragon's Fury. So it's the same game as it is on TurboGrafx, but renamed for some reason on it. What is that monster that they're fighting? Is that a shrimp?
This one is actually a fight. You fight 3 different fried foods.
I see.
So you fight a shrimp first, and then what is an onion ring, and then something else afterwards.
Those are all not good for you.
No. Especially not when they hit you and take your health.
That feels really greasy and gross. I'd rather be stabbed than slapped with a greasy shrimp. Oh, nice sword work. Look at that sword play. Baseball play. Whatever.
I listed one of the goals slightly incorrectly, so if I see someone who is playing Monster in my pocket and I see them go past the 2nd stage, I will ping them directly to make sure that we don't have an issue with it. That was my error.
I usually can credit time for that kind of thing if it ends up being relevant. M Sparkly's back on a bonus level here. You gotta bust the bait. This one's a tough one though. These things take a ton of hits.
It seems like the pinball one is quite the challenge, getting that many points.
It adds up fast if you can get away with the goals. It's really like all pinball. Complete the goals or fail. There's no in between. You're either getting no points or you're getting so many orbs that you just kind of quit after a couple hours and somebody else comes in and plays your 20 orbs.
Gotcha.
So it's going to come down to can they break those 2 vases there? Because if they can, they're going to be more than halfway to the goal just with that. Things can go bad pretty quick in pinball if they're not going well. This one's a dangerous gambit. I'm surprised people keep going for it. Pinball is pinball. People who know pinball know better. Than
I probably would not have chosen pinball myself.
This is probably the most lethal game on here because if it goes wrong, you might just lose 10 minutes. Even if you know how to play it, it would still be a little risky because it's not guaranteed to control. There it is, the perfect score. Let's see the junk come out on this point. There you go. Here's a couple million.
We got Digi working on Ghoul School. This challenge is tricky for Ghoul School because if you take the right path, right, if you just go the right way, then this is trivial. It'll take you a minute and a half, 2 minutes tops. If you get lost wandering around the school for a while, this could be a real time sink.
Can't tell how many orbs M Spark has left on Devil's Crush, but they did nail the first bonus round there at 2.6 million. These dragons are pretty easy, and this is probably going to seal it for them if they can get that. Let's check out the other 8 screens. It's been a little while. We see pinball on 2 more screens at once, and the dragons are dying on Digital Basics. I think this is one of the easiest ones. It just naturally gets cleared. There it is. Another perfect. Your goal is to defeat all 6 of these. So Digital Basics is going to get a couple million for that. There's 3 million.
So you think the pinball one's not actually like a trap goal? It's not that bad. It's just you gotta play pinball.
I would say it's the most dangerous one on here because it's the most likely to just completely go wrong. Because pinball can just be... It could just decide to do what happened to Wobbly there and just go down the side and finish you off. You're finished.
Sure.
And Wobbly's...
And you have no control over it, really.
You can shake it and hope for the best. Most people don't even want to do that, though. It's scary to shake the table. You know how that works? You know how the mechanics of... Obviously, it's a digital table, but... Tilting
is there a button you can do to tilt the table?
No, pinball machines are meant to be shoved around, like, actually lifted off the ground and shoved around big time. They're designed for that. But to prevent
I
you
didn't
from
know that.
destroying them, there is a pendulum that's swinging inside of a metal cage, and if it touches the edges of that, it's going to tilt and you'll lose all control. So you can't shake it like a maniac.
But you can give it a good nudge once in a while. No big deal.
You sure can, and it will reset after a while. So you just kind of get the technique down on doing that and stopping it from just killing you all the time. It's very important skill to learn with if you actually want to win pinball and you just don't want to mess around. And these players want to win pinball, and they should take advantage of that, because the digital sensor will take a couple of shoves, because it's not mean like it would be in real life to figure out exactly how to shove it. You can get a good couple of shoves in on a digital pinball almost every time.
Fiona is getting really close to the end of this challenge here. Starman's not too far off either. Starman is in the middle of level 2 for Monster in My Pocket.
Mr. Torture is the first one to attempt one of my awful games here, but that's it. The goal's not too bad.
Which game is this?
It could be cleared in a couple minutes. Mr. T found the secret there. See that? That's good news. They basically need to grab a key and bring it to the top right to exit the stage. So Mr. T has beaten stage 1 if they go in that door. They did not go in the door. Oh no. I told them about what to do, but they figured out how the ghost works, which is super good news for their progress, because that helps so much getting out of this jam.
God, I can't help but feel like I gave them all the easy goals and you gave them all the hard ones.
Yeah, that's fair. We'll balance it out, don't worry. They can't tell which ones are which anyway. We don't have our names on them.
That's true. I gave them Dr. Franken. Never mind. I didn't give them all easy ones. Alright, with that, looks like Terravan has finished up the goal for Adventures of Dr. Franken.
Yeah, the tilt mechanic made sense on the first pinball machines, because, yeah, they didn't want you to break the dang machine. But then it became a part of the game. They expect you to do it. So they designed it to be shake a little bit. Pinball machines are sensitive.
Can you generate another tracker really quickly?
Yeah.
Let me see something. Maybe I'm wrong. No, it looks like one of the URLs I gave to someone doesn't work. So.
You just go to where's the link here? There it is. If you go here and drop the games list in there, you just need to type a key in and just type in the number 13 or something. Let me do that. So you, where's the games list? I had that somewhere. I'll grab it off one of the other trackers.
Yeah, Jerry Eris is still playing offline because they're having some internet issues and they're just recording locally. Looks like Terravan's going on to Porky Pig. Not a terribly difficult one. It took me almost 10 minutes to beat level 1, so I didn't feel like giving them more than just level 1.
Yeah, I feel like that's a long haul. There's not going to be a whole lot of speeding that one up, maybe. Maybe.
Well, I definitely died a few times, so everyone... You know, people dying less than me will beat it faster.
There's 13.
Okay.
That should work.
Yep, it works.
If it's not working for them, then it probably just...
No, I checked the one that I sent them and it wasn't working.
That's interesting. What number is that? I'll check that out later.
Well, it doesn't have a number in it. It ends with a 09.
You'll have to look at the start, because I think the 09 is indicating that there's 10 list items, so they all have that.
Gotcha. Here. Which number from the original list?
Yeah, you can just send me the URL. I want to bug it up, debug it. Thank you. I'll do that. Let's check out the other 8 players here. I gotta open this again. Okay, now I'm ready.
You can put in Jerry Eris's box just the tracker.
Good. That's a good idea. Are they on number 13?
They're on the one that you just sent me.
they had an extra one that was pointless. Oops, and they crossed it out. It says at the bottom of it, this shares data or some error message, and they crossed out that. That's pretty funny. We're seeing some Porky Pig. Fiona is lost in War of the Dead. In this game, if you get hit by a purple enemy, you're probably just going to die in one hit. And then you're going to game over, and you're going to start all over. And the only saving you can do is by way of a huge password at the start of the game. You have to go all the way back to the church to go get. The characters are named after zombie movies. In the translation, at least. Who knows how legitimate that is. Mr. T is working on this game. It's ended up taking them a long time. This second area is really not okay. Extreme Zero is working on night creatures.
I've never seen this game before.
It's bad. It's not good. It's an open world disaster. It's got like Prince of Persia fighting. It sucks so bad. It's just so clunky and nonsense. The hitboxes are terrible. You can get a million items, and none of them really work very well. But you have to sort through them then, so it becomes an inventory problem. You get a bunch of powers that you can't use because all of them drain your health while they're on, and they're not that good. They're not drain health worthy. Also, the cemetery here doesn't seem like a good place to be.
So you just chose violence. You just gave them the worst things.
Well, you can clear it if you find the way. My challenge is have the ability to be cleared in 3 or 4 minutes. It just, you just have to figure out what's wrong. This is what he's doing right now is the equivalent of like going to the graveyard in Dark Souls 1 immediately. And it's the graveyard in this too. It's the same graveyard, pretty much. You don't belong here. It's
turns out all graveyards are bad.
Yeah, well now you're a skeleton. You belong here now.
You'll really fit in with the crowd.
Let's check out the Group B. See, Porky Pig is dying.
That's what Porky Pig does. We got more people on Monster in My Pocket. I would say that Monster in My Pocket, especially now that I've clarified the goal, Monster in My Pocket is probably the most accessible thing here.
Yeah, I think so. I was thinking about making it the tiebreaker because I figured that would be the case. But I think our tiebreaker will work nice if we need it. The snapping Dracula with the TMT font.
All right, Subwoofer's Ice Cream is out of this challenge.
Another monster begins. Back to the APEC. Okay, Extreme Zero is going to the right this time. I put in the notes that you can go left or right, and they listened too hard to my notes. Like that, they got the false impression that just because I wrote that they should. I was just saying that they could. I was just letting you know you can go down a pit and start a level there. You can go into the graveyard to the left if you would like. It's up to you. You're your own boss in this game. You can go any direction you want, left or right. There's the holy axe. Look how good it is. It looks like a net.
At the very least, it looks like it has a better hitbox than just punching.
It works on these when punching doesn't. They die in 3 or 4 hits instead of never. So there's that.
I love that the werewolves just jump over you, and then now you're pincered between 2 enemies.
Fiona's in trouble. Big trouble. That enemy is instant death, I'm sure. They figured out how to use the gun, so that's good. Extreme Zero beat this game in like 2 minutes. They just found the right route. That's all there was to it. A lot of my games require you to just realize you're not doing it right and move on. Keeping in mind that they are supposed to be 5 to 10 minute challenges. If you spent more than 5 minutes on it, something's probably not right. That's how mine are designed.
Yeah, mine were intentionally 6 to 10 minutes, but there's the real challenge is just that if you die, it's obviously going to take more time. Not you've made wrong decisions.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of variety in there.
These were fun to make. Going through some old retro stuff. I obviously drew pretty heavily from, you know, my speedrunning history. I've run Ghoul School. I have run Monsters in My Pocket.
I've
At least learned it.
Been waiting for 18 months for you to make Mr. Triathlon challenges for me, and now I finally got you to do it.
I know, I got tricked into it.
Fooled you. Here's Grant Dynasty once again.
Subwoofer's going up against the first boss in Monsters in My Pocket. Not a terribly hard one. He always jumps up and throws knives down. So, I mean, if you just kind of look at their trajectory, you can just casually walk out of the way of them.
Tervan seems to be, yeah, getting Porky finished up. Top Hat Ghost is upon us.
We have found the Top Hat Ghost.
And the weakness immediately found, whether through luck or not. Maybe a Porky Master. Just jump on his head when the top hat's gone, that's all there is to it.
That's it. That's it for this boss.
It's
the trick is actually, one of the big things for this fight is figuring out the rhythm for the fight, realizing that he kind of changes his direction every time, so you want to be on the opposite side of where he's going to throw the ghosts. Like you want to be where the ghosts are being thrown, so you can jump away from that spot.
Tervan needs to get a hit without taking a hit.
Yeah, if you try to damage race this boss, you don't have enough.
Success. Seems like it's on lock at this point. Top Hat Ghost doesn't know who they were messing with.
I love that so many people chose to play Monster Party because Monster Party is such a good game.
Tervan takes one down. At least one.
Mr. Torture working on Ghoul School over here.
Starman also on the Top Hat boss. And in place of winning it, too. Now that's the strategy right there. Just keep on bouncing on his head and never stop. And then just get out when it's time to go. You can't beat that. Being extremely aggressive is the strategy. Another Porky clear.
Very nicely done. Digital Basics about one room away from also being there as well. No, Digital Basics still needs to do the Spiral Tower, I think.
I wonder if Mr. T beat the game that Akami is trying to beat now. You can jump up the slopes just like in Bob's A3D. If you do it just right. And just like in Bubsy 3D, you have limited ammo, and it feels bad. I don't know why you have limited ammo. It makes no sense because, in fact, you need the ammo to get the key to get out of the level. You can definitely get yourself at a point where you must throw a life away to get your ammo back. You do it wrong. Like I did in my testing. It's a two-part battle, this game. This game is Ghost Manor is what it's called. You have to get the key, which is not obvious, and then you have to get the exit after that in the top right, and that's a nightmare.
The real trick for Monster Party is health management, because you don't really get a ton of it. When you kill an enemy, sometimes they'll drop a little bit of health, but you have to kill like 3 bosses per stage on a relatively small amount of starting health. So you can't just treat a boss fight like a damage race. You actually have to play pretty much every boss fight somewhat conservatively, unless of course you know some trick to it.
Wobbly has been on Devil's Crush for a while. It is time to be concerned about Wobbly's Devil Crush addiction.
How many points did they need to get? 5,000 or 5 million, you said?
Yeah, they're at 2 million now. Looks like they just started a new run, and it's going well for a change. They're in the top floor where you can just destroy things for millions of points. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it's pretty safe. If you fall from here, you have 2 more platforms worth of falling to do before you're dead, so getting up here and locking it in the way this is pretty safe, pretty guaranteed value. It's gonna take a little bit. You don't get handed millions of points for achieving things here very often.
I'm suddenly reminded of a game that we have to do for if we do this again for Halloween next year.
You don't want to do the Christmas pack?
I have been on the hunt at different points in my life looking for Christmas themed video games, and I can pretty much guarantee we're not going to find 10 decent Christmas themed games.
You don't like Yogi Bear's Christmas Bonanza?
No, or Days Before Christmas, only released in Europe. No, I'm good. I'm good. Most of those games suck. I think the only redeeming, like the only decent Christmas game is the Jazz Jackrabbit Christmas version.
You heard it here first. Author Blues hates Christmas.
I wish they'd make a good Christmas video game.
2 million points for Wobbly Python on that one. They're at 4.5 million, just like that. Instantly, suddenly succeeding at Devil's Crush. They just need a little bit more. 500,000 points ain't a ridiculous order. That's doable in any capacity, any floor here. Let's check out the other 4. I see a boss dying. The same.
Ooh, Subwoofers. Subwoofers went a little further. Subwoofers followed the original goal in the guide, so we'll probably have to credit him just a little bit of time, but
You want to tag him?
I can.
They died to it too, so they probably think they need to keep rolling. That's right, Die Hard and Home Alone. What more do you need? Just like 10 Home Alone games. They're all great. What do you think of the first Home Alone game where you pick up objects and just drop them on the floor and try and evade AI, like Pac-Man, for 20 minutes, and that's the whole game?
I like that one.
That's the best one, by a lot. It's not even close. Extreme Zero is using saves to try and get through Haunted Night Creatures games. Digital Basic is also trying to do it. Okami Games has the second key, and they're probably being very annoyed by these millions of bats. What they have to do is figure out how to get up top. They're just a little short of this jump. What you have to do is jump off a gremlin hand that just refuses, as you can see, to cooperate. It just doesn't want to be there when you need it to be, which makes no damn sense. It just shows up and leaves, and if its timing is mean, then you just can't do it.
So you're a fan of this one? You like this game?
This game is dreadful. I think Okami's calling it because they just couldn't get up there.
I love that there's absolutely no tell on the hand going away. Like, the first frame that it starts to retract, you fall out of it, rather than you gain some small indicator. That's terrible.
That's Okami Games throwing the towel on that one when they are 95% of the way there. That was just that one jump they had to figure out how to do, and they would have had it. That was like they died on the airship of World 1 and they threw in the towel on Mario 3. Like that was it. They were so close. That one hurts a lot. That's the worst one I've seen so far as defeats go on this. That was a big time. They had it done. They just needed to. They ran out of patience on it because it is a frustrating mess. But they had to figure out all of the problems. All they had to do was figure out one more jump. I think Wobbly beat Pinball, probably? Not the first one.
Yeah, Wobbly did. Apparently Wobbly went a little beyond the goal, but probably just the love of pinball, if I had to guess.
It's a good table. If I had money for pinball, there's a couple tables I would like to have access to on a regular basis. Pinball machines are so expensive. They're in the neighborhood of $5,000 to $10,000, and they also need maintenance.
They're really that expensive?
Yeah.
That's like more expensive than most like arcade games. Like if you want an arcade cabinet.
Yeah, getting a new one's probably even more. I'm talking used. They have to be maintained all the time. They just don't make very many of them. There's a lot of parts. There's more parts.
It's unbelievable how expensive that is.
They're mechanically incredible. They're just very busy things. Yeah. If you open up the guts of a pinball machine, you better be an engineer. It's just a lot of circuitry. There's a billion bells and whistles. You need to figure out what's broken all the time. The bumpers always need replaced. It's just a lot of parts. A whole lot of stuff. I respect the techs who work in regular arcades and can fix those things up. They're good at what they do. As I play an arcade simulator tycoon game where it's just Roller Coaster Tycoon but arcades, I can respect the pinball machine being repaired.
I guess I never really thought about how complicated they are as machines. Like, I mean, I'm not a big fan of pinball, just as a game, but it's never really occurred to me that they're probably just unbelievably complex.
The 90s tables are really fancy, and especially now they have like LCD screens and stuff, but like the 90s ones introduced a whole bunch of fun mechanics that would probably revolutionize your opinion of pinball. They're actually pretty similar to this demon game that we're seeing right now in terms of what they can do. And just having something like Dracula sliding across the table like a big goofball being an obstacle who's worth points if you hit him. You have to have a sensor on him for when he gets hit. You have to have him slide in underneath and above the game board. All of that needs to be done without him interfering with anything. So when you introduce things like that, there comes your complication. Some of them have magnets that turn on for fun and just absorb the ball that's on a button and stuff. They're all different too. There's not like each game's completely different from the other. They're not at all the same except for the core idea that it's pinball.
It's just a really interesting thought. I've never considered how complicated they are. So
yeah, I'm just gonna ramble about pinball.
That's fine. Everyone wants to hear about pinball machines, Smite. Everyone.
You can go on YouTube and see the design pitches that they sent to bar owners and stuff to sell their pinball machine, because you don't sell those to the general public generally, at least then. It was like, would you like to invest in a $10,000 machine? Here's what it can do, and it's a 20-minute presentation about all the rails and buttons and features that this one has over the earth. You need a sound designer. One of my favorite ones, Medieval Madness, has like voice acting in it. Professional voice actors signed it.
Oh, is that the one that has the song? My friend was playing music for me. We were in his car not too long ago. I was like, "What is this from? This is cool." He's like, "Oh, it's from a pinball game."
Wasn't Black Knight 2000?
It was Black Knight 2000. Never mind.
That's a jam.
Yeah.
That pinball machine is built around the idea that you would be insulted by the knight telling you that you suck when you walk by and you want to play him and he'd take your money.
Yeah, I think it would have worked on me. I've never seen one of those machines, but I can almost guarantee it would have worked on me.
He's just this really loud knight. I haven't seen the Pac-Man hybrid pinball game. Medieval Madness has a plastic castle, like a Lego-looking ass castle in the center of it, and you can knock the ball into the drawbridge a couple times and it will open up, and then you can send the ball in there and blow it up and it starts shaking. Like in physical reality, it starts rumbling and falling over. And it's such a goofy, silly thing, but it feels so good.
I'm not going to tell her it's your game, but Fiona seems really upset in the Discord about Haunted Manor or Ghost Manor or whatever it's called.
That's probably the trickiest one on here. Okami Games figured it out but didn't clear it. I don't know if Mr. T cleared it. I probably could have given them another hint about where the second key is, but Okami found it. I thought it was fairly obvious to me. It's a unique enemy throwing knives. He's got it. But in stage 1 it's just laying there, so you know. Probably should have told them that. I did tell them I gave them some kind of hint. I don't remember what it was. They got some kind of hint. It's probably the most miserable game on here. Like War of the Dead is hard to find the solution at, but that one feels gross.
I'm just saying, your secret's safe with me. I won't let her know that that was one of your games.
Yep. Surely they won't listen in at any point on the podcast. You're gonna found the first key.
If someone told you that you were going to play a collection of Halloween-themed games and you got one that was like medieval times, does that feel Halloween-themed? Is that Halloween-themed?
Which one's that? Which one do you mean?
No, none of these games. I was just thinking about, games for the future.
Yep, I think so.
Okay.
There's that samurai game that I thought was haunted themed. I mean, it's full of ghosts and demons. It's just, it's not just like European ghost time. It's I think Halloween extends beyond that a little bit. Anything spooky works. I'm looking for creepy games. That's what I was looking for.
I was thinking of Dark Castle. I was just thinking about that game. No reason. Just it's a game I think about sometimes. Oh, Getsu Fumiden's a good game, though. We couldn't give him that one.
We are 15 minutes left. Last call.
Gunpei Tomoden would be a good one, though.
How are our players doing? I thought we'd see 6 or 7 clears, but it looks like we might be seeing 4 or 5 on the top end here.
Yeah, we both kind of assessed the list and felt like we had given easy goals, but it's always really hard to judge when you're not giving them out blind, like.
Yep.
So, maybe the challenges were too hard.
Nah. As long as they're getting cleared. I mean, each one of these individually, I feel like the way I do it in the Mr. Chathlon, the way I judge how they were, is if no one in the whole group managed to beat it, then it was garbage. And so Haunted Manor probably is on the list for that. But which one of these other games has not been cleared? Probably another one of mine, the one where Extreme Zero was playing. I can't even remember its stinking name. Night Creatures. That one probably is not going to get cleared by anybody, but somebody could do it in just a handful of minutes if they find the route. It's not particularly involved or anything. It's just being careful and understanding how Kuso games work. I bet if you played it, you would beat it in 10 minutes. Knowing what you do about Kuso Grande games.
Sure.
Just being really hitbox heavy, just knowing how to dodge enemies, that's the ticket, right? Like, just not taking that for granted.
I played some real trash, but I mean, in the course of playing some real trash, I've definitely played some games I do not think on a long enough timeline I could beat.
Yeah, I purposely avoided Ghouls and Ghosts and Castlevania. I feel like people trained on those just for this tournament. If I were looking at a Halloween tournament, I would expect those to show up, and so I made sure they didn't.
Yeah, I almost fell into the trap of, not being able to find another game I was happy with, so I almost picked a Castlevania or Ghouls and Ghosts. I was like, no, I'll find something. I'll find something.
There's Porky Pig yelling at the screen.
I'd like to imagine, if you had perfect awareness of the challenge in these games, which one was easiest and which one was hardest. I'd like to think that's probably possible for everyone to have completed maybe 6 games or so, but you would have had to pick the right 6 because some of them are some real time sinks. And that's always the trap. I mean, the goal is to make them more or less equivalent. It shouldn't be up to you being aware of the games or discerning that fast enough, but sometimes games they're challenging for the wrong reasons, and when we test them, they're good, and when players play them, they're bad.
Knowing what to do, not going in blindfolded basically on some of these, I would be able to beat the 5 I picked in like 10 minutes, just all of them. Just knowing exactly how to handle them would break them wide open. So they're difficult for a different reason. It's mostly figuring out what the hell to do. Mystery. I see, actually, it looks like Caravan is making real progress on that one. They are pretty deep in. They don't have any powers yet. I don't know how they got this far without one.
On your layout for the screen that has 8 people on it, I can't see any of the trackers. How are they doing? Who's got the most, would you say? Like, what's the highest point value you've seen at this point?
I haven't been monitoring that. Let me take a look. 3 on first one, it looks like. 2. And then we don't see all of Jerry Ayers. He's got at least 1. 2 over there on player 4. I think 1 for Mr. T. So they didn't beat that one. 4, I think Digital Basic is in the lead with 4, maybe. Okami Games has 4 or 5. Actually, Okami looks like they might be winning. They're rocking it big time. 1 for Wobbly Python. So I think Okami Games is in the lead. And they actually turned around on the hardest one in the pack, I think. They had almost beaten it. They could be at 6 or 7. They're where I thought the winner would be. So actually, Okami Games is proving us right. That I thought the leader would have 6 or 7, and there they are. They're doing really well. With 10 minutes left, they could theoretically have cleared all of them with that time limit.
I'm gonna look at Okami's list. Okay, well, I'm happy to see someone did complete Ghoul School. So here's the thing about Ghoul School. I want to mention it for a second, because I feel like I have to defend the choice a little bit. The goal is just to collect the spring boots. So if you're not aware of that, the goal is just to collect the spring boots, which is a really early item. You're supposed to find it pretty early on. And the hint that I originally gave them was I told them that the spring boots were inside the weight machine. Like, you just had to get inside the weight machine and that's it. But I felt like that was too direct. And so I made the hint a little more subtle. I said that they weren't really boots; they were a broken piece of a weight machine. And I feel like that may have tripped a few people up in a way that I didn't really want it to. I was hoping that the idea would be, rather than just telling them, "Hey, fall down through the weight machine, you'll grab them," that they would, have to look at it a little closely. But I think that did trip some people up in a way that I wish it hadn't.
It looks like my awful picks continue to be the worst. Terravan gave up on that one and is moving on to this one, which is worse, I would say. But you do what you gotta do. Starman's looking for the solution, so we'll see if they can find the key.
Yeah, realistically, Okamiya Games, like you said, could be seeing about a 7 here from Okamiya Games, because Okami's on Dr. Franken right now and still has Porky Pig on the list. And I'm not saying Dr. Franken's free; it absolutely isn't. But of the ones that are remaining, those are the two that seem most accessible.
Honestly, knowing what they know about the worst game on the list at this point, Okami could load it back up and beat it in 2 minutes flat if they just were willing to do it. And I can.
You're talking about for Ghost Manor?
Yeah. It's knowing where the keys are, knowing. I mean, you can just run away from the enemies. We're seeing Starman do the jump that Okami quit trying to do. Like, right, you just did it. That was it. That was like. So you just obnoxiously put up with the hand being a jerk until its timing is good for you, and then you go. And that is why Okami did not clear it. Unfortunately, Starman does not have the key yet, so they're making a mistake. I wrote in the hint that the key is not up top right. That's where the exit is. So that was the hint I gave. I didn't tell them where exactly the key was, which I probably should have done. Maybe it would have made this clearable. Probably not. The climb up there is so gross. We're seeing a fresh attempt at Nightmare Creatures. Let's check it out. Losing to rats, losing to bats. Love to see it.
I'm taking a look at a few of these trackers.
If you've ever played Karate Kid, you can learn from that game speedrun. You just get 2 enemies on screen and you just rush, and they can't, because of the sprite limit, make any more enemies. And it's the same thing in Nightmare Creatures and a lot of other Kuso games. So again, that's the kind of Kuso knowledge I'm talking about. Just knowing and understanding why the game stopped making enemies appear and using that fact to your advantage will let you beat Nightmare Creatures, probably.
Digi's making great progress, really fast progress on Porky Pig. This was a good pick too, because having them just play stage 1, because despite the fact it being called Haunted Holiday, I wouldn't say that the whole game is really Halloween themed, but the first level's great for Halloween.
I forget what this game is like. I did beat it once.
Oh, Porky Pig? So like the next level is like a cowboy stage, and then there's one that's like Atlantis.
So we've had enough of that game. Moved on to pinball. Starman has gotten to the top where they're going to find that they have no key.
I was having a bit of trouble finding all the pieces of the passport. That's the real trick to Dr. Franken, is basically they put 4 pieces of the passport in the furthest corners of the level. They're always hard places to reach and hard places to find. But this first level, they're pretty out in the open. You just have to be thorough on every single floor. I think Okami has it all to leave this level now. I think Okami's good to go. There's one passport piece down here, and then the exit. That's it.
6 minutes left.
There is almost certainly enough time for Okami to finish one more game. I don't think with the amount of time left that they could finish Dr. Franken and Porky Pig. So we're probably seeing, you know, that would be 6 from Okami. So someone would have to beat 6.
Did they beat War of the Dead?
Did they? No, they haven't.
That was the fastest one that we saw. That was the first one we saw.
It's just a really easy challenge, like getting to where you need to go and completing it.
It's an open world game, and you have to find a man somewhere in the planet.
That's mean.
There's not too many places to go, and the enemies are randomly attacking you like in Zelda 2. So that's your obstacle. In the worst case scenario, if you explore it with some kind of logic, you'll find it in a couple of minutes still, like 5-10 minutes. If you don't game over. But if you go the right way like Extreme Zero did, you'll just instantly win. It's an open world game, but there's really only like a couple of places to go, so...
It's easy if you know what to do. Okay, so it's one of the things where Extreme Zero was lucky to have come in with some prior knowledge.
Maybe. I don't know. Finding a specific guy who doesn't really have any value, I wouldn't be able to do it. Just because I played it before. He's just some dude.
Right.
I don't feel like he does anything. I might be wrong, though.
I get what you're saying.
It's definitely beatable quickly, though, if you're lucky. But even if you're not, if you just explore thoroughly, you'll find him. There's not that much content. Top Hat Ghost returns again.
Extreme Zero's angry in Discord.
What about?
Said 6-minute games, my butt.
Starman found the key. Starman's gonna beat this game, prove it can be done. Fiona's working on the War of the Dead. So yeah, this is the world you get. It would be like in Zelda 2 if you were looking for like a specific city, really. You know how you can access like 5 of them at the start?
Right.
One of them has what you want. That's all it is. It's pretty much the same as that. This time, no one knows what the hell it is. And you get this big open field, and you just don't know what way to go. Fiona's actually not too far off the beaten path here. It's an ambitious game. I like Zelda 2 pretty well, and I like the games that try to do it style.
I'm a fan of Zelda 2, so I agree with you. Have you ever played Battle of Olympus?
No. Maybe.
Okay. Well, it's got to be one of those.
Yeah. Oh, no! Starman is so close. I want to see somebody beat this game so that I can say, yeah, it was fine. They fell back down to the awful jump. There it goes. That damn hand wasn't cooperating on the second part up top. I hope they clear it. They're close. I'm watching Starman for a while. See if this happens, because this is the game that has shut a lot of players down. Oh, once again, the hand says no on that jump. Oh, and they tripped up. That sucks. Why on earth did they make the claw go into the wall? Like, it makes no sense.
I'm not even worried about it going into the wall. That's like a normal video game thing to do. My problem is that the first frame that it starts to retract, you're already dropped. There's literally no response. You can't react to it. It is not reactable.
It is not. I mean, it is timing based. Like, it comes out of the wall for 3 seconds, it goes back in for 3 seconds. That's what it does. If you watch it close, you'll see that. But like, that doesn't help you make the jump.
Yeah, so I think we're seeing the end of the race, and just kind of scanning a few of the trackers I opened, it definitely looks like our highest number was 5.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah, that's not terrible.
Somebody was really close to doing another one. And time is just about up at this point. And Digi just cleared another one.
So I'm gonna open all the trackers really quickly just to confirm that I don't see anything better.
That's smart thinking.
Looks like Starman completed 4 goals. One of them being Ghost Manor on here, so
Sweet. I was
nice
watching
to see
that.
Ghost Manor was possible.
Yeah, there it is. I see it right now. They found Frankenstein. They're in there. They found the Ghost Manor. The first 2 levels were just getting into the Ghost Manor, and there it is. There's an elevator there that you have to wait for like 50 seconds.
Oh, I'm seeing also Digital Basic had 5 as well. So we may have ourselves a tiebreaker scenario.
Yeah, Digital Basic was clearing a bunch.
Let me check because I know time is up. So at this point, any late arrivals, that's that. I don't see anything else.
Yep, I'm gonna move to our talking screen.
Yeah, go ahead and flip over to it. I think we're going to need our tiebreaker after all, so you may want to get them squared away for that.
Nice challenges. Nice work. We done it.
Yeah, I think it's possible that we could have probably toned down a few of the challenges. But I think overall it turned out to be good.
It toned up the rest. You don't nerf things, you buff the rest. That's all. I know game design. What's the score?
It looks like 5-5. We had 2 5s.
Awesome.
It was, if I'm not mistaken, it was what Digital Basic and Okamiya Games. Let me confirm that one more time, just so I make sure I'm talking about the right people.
I think that's it. Yeah.
We've got 5 listed. Not the same 5 either, for what it's worth. I don't think that probably surprises anyone that it's not exactly the same list, but I mean, the overlap is relatively minimal. Dragon's Fury was completed by both of them. Monster in My Pocket was completed by both of them. And Splatterhouse 1 Paku Graffiti was completed by both of them. But it looks like Okamiya Games also completed Monster Party and Ghoul School, whereas Digital Basic completed Shoryu Sensen and Porky Pig. Is that the other one? Yeah, Porky Pig.
If only Okami didn't give up on the jumps. I'm gonna switch to my racing scene so we can do a one-on-one race format.
Okay.
If they want to do it right now. This game that we have left will take 10 minutes tops, I bet. I took out one of the boring, safe ones, I thought, and put it in as the tiebreaker. There will be room for speeding up, but not too much. I took it out because I didn't feel like it was a good idea to put in something that was just guaranteed to waste 8 minutes minimum and maximum 12. I just felt like that was a lousy thing to put into a 60-minute challenge, so I took that one out. Though maybe people could have used the freebie for morale.
Okay, they are both available. So you may want to go ahead and drop them the link to download the last game and information for the goal.
I'll just drop it right in the chat.
Yep.
Let me grab Okami Games and Digital Basic here. Okay. This is my Mr. Triathlon race format here. Buffy the Vampire. It's like Game Boy Advance. Where's my notes for this bad boy? I wrote them down. Alright. Defeat the Ninja Vampire boss. And then there's a bunch of controls. I'm being challenged to do.
I know Extreme Zero is so upset right now. I have never seen a single person so upset. Extreme Zero says, I want to see Smite complete that challenge. Smite says, I could show and get 2 powers in 30 seconds if you want. Do it. Is what
You just
Extreme
head
Zero
right and kill a tree, and then you jump down a pit and do that zone too. I'm giving them the game here in a second. Yeah, you got a duck. You were getting hit by them branches.
Give them the game. You are you're currently arguing in Discord.
What? No, I gotta tell them about the branches. You gotta duck under the branches. Here's Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Here's Buffy for Okami of Games and Digital Basic. Yeah, the thing that that Extreme Zero was missing was like, you're taking damage from the tree. You gotta duck under the branches. They get branched. You'd think you'd notice that your HP is going down. It's not supposed to do that. You gotta duck under the branches. In Kuso, you want to make your tiny target as tiny as possible, so you just duck at all times, right? That's just common knowledge. I just thought everybody knew. To duck. We're gonna pull audio for Buffy, the Vampire Slayer. On the left, we have Digital Basic.
Oh yeah, you were at GBA, but that's Game Boy Color, right?
It is Game Boy Color, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, if you like Zelda 2, you've got to give Battle of Olympus a try. It's basically just Zelda 2, but you're a small Greek kid.
That sounds familiar. I don't hear any audio yet, but it might just be a silent title screen. We're ready to go.
Most title screens on the Game Boy silent. They didn't waste a lot of battery on the attract mode.
Do you want to give them a countdown?
I think we're waiting for Okami to get back. Okami was taking just a few minutes to stand up.
Okay, I'm gonna mark with a sonic option for checking in. That's how I do this typically. I bet Extreme Zero just tried to fight the tree and ducked under the branch and instantly won. I bet, in fact, that they've beaten the challenge in the time that they've been arguing after I told them to duck under the tree. Maybe my hint should have been duck under the tree instead of go left. Whoops. I was selling the game's features like a game dev instead of selling how to beat it like a game player.
It happens.
That game sucked a lot, though. I think when I sent it to you originally, before I wrote the challenges, I had "boy howdy" and the goal placement for that one. That one's the roughest thing ever. Do you see the feed? We go down.
I can see your feed. We're still waiting on Okami, I think. I can hear music now too.
That's my music. That's not Buffy.
Oh, okay. I was thinking that the Game Boy Color sound chip got real good all of a sudden.
It's just jamming.
You could really do some great things. This Discord fight is your fault.
I also hate that tree. I think it's dumb that you have to duck, but ducking comes naturally to me, so I didn't have too much trouble with it. I did bring up the password in War of the Dead. You go to the church, you talk to the preacher, and he gives you a tablet of etched runes that you have to write down, and there's just like 50 of them. And
Okay, it looks like Okami is back.
I'm ready to start whenever you want to go.
Okay.
Game Boy Color, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Defeat the ninja vampire boss of stage 2. Can't miss him. She tells him that his kung fu is worse than hers.
Alright, I've given them the go.
Hi guys, am I interrupting anything? Says Buffy. No audio from these two, it looks like. That's surprising because usually they do GM audio. I mean, no, it's working. It's my bad. I guess I messed something up. We'll pull audio from Okami Games. Okay, so this game is what you're seeing about 70 times, and then level 1's done. And then they change the vampire slightly, and it's the same thing again, 70 more times, and then you win. So they have a couple of moves. The ticket is to kill the enemy with a stake in the heart after every knockdown. If the enemy has missing HP, they're staying on the ground longer. So you can throw them, and it does a lot of damage. I put there that throw is really good. Throw does a ton of damage and knocks them on the ground, so it makes it really easy. If you pull off a throw, they're pretty much dead. If you sweep their leg, it's faster, it's much more likely to succeed, but it only hits them for a little bit, so not good enough usually, unless you corner them. You can speed this up quite a bit if you're good at the technique of throwing the enemy and getting them. I think currently Digital Basic is slightly ahead, very slightly. There's a lot of vampires to go. What do you think of Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
I mean, it looks better than what I expected, but I didn't expect much, so the bar was immeasurably low.
If it wasn't so heckin' repetitive, it would be fine. I know why it's repetitive, though. It's because it's shovelware.
I mean, it looks like a competently designed game, which is more than you can say for most shovelware. The problem is that they designed a competent game and then didn't put content inside of it.
Yeah. It's just
like someone spent 4 whole days programming this game to work nicely and then handed off to a team that just copied and pasted the same zombie over and over, I guess.
Digital Basic missed a stake, and they have been fighting the zombie vampire that they've been trying to stake forever because of it. They just cannot get the killing blow now. They're trying to do the throw, but the zombie's resisting it. I keep calling them zombies, but they're definitely vampires. Finally got him. That gave Okami a big lead. Learning how to stake them quickly is going to be the breaker here. You can really save some time.
Oh wow, yeah, that is huge.
They basically are dead instantly if you do it right. 3 seconds each.
So you just basically have to figure out how to get them down and then stake them, and that's pretty much it.
Yep. The more health you take from them, the longer they'll stay down. Staking them is a little awkward. I was talking about the sweep kick. It doesn't really do any damage at all, so the throw will give you more time, but if you punch them before sweeping them, for example, they would stay on the ground for a while, and that's a safe way to do it.
Yeah, Digital Basic's just absolutely obliterating these enemies now.
Yep.
You said Okami didn't find the stake?
Oh, they have to have the stake.
Oh, okay.
They can't.
They just didn't figure out how to do it.
I mean, you have to finish. You can't punch them to death. You have to stake them. Okami's just not using the throw.
Gotcha.
If you don't stake them, they'll just heal and stand back up. So mandatory. That's why I put down A by itself in the controls to make sure that they knew that was very important. The dodge roll is really annoying because it's not what you want to do. Oh, stake them in the nuts. Hate to see it.
Yeah, I mean, all told, this looks like a remarkably competent game. If you If you changed the name of it and made it not Buffy themed, and then added a second enemy to the game,
Well, there are new
This would
enemies
be-
that show up and change the move that you have to do on them.
do you mean it's like a new suit color, or
Yeah.
is it like actually a different enemy?
It's a different enemy who actually does fight differently, and they wait until the entire next stage, and they get rid of the old enemy. They don't keep them in, so you lose your variety no matter what. It's basically solving a fighting game puzzle every stage. What's the puzzle this time? Throw a zombie and stab him. Next time, they're gonna have a harder time throwing them. Okami is done with level 1.
Nice.
Very important talking scene.
Well, I mean, maybe you don't like it, but me, as a diehard fan of, what is it, Buffy the Vampire Slayer? I'm invested in the story, so.
Yeah. This was a movie first, and it had a scene where a bunch of zombies were watching Saved by the Bell, and it offended my dad, who loved that show. They were just in there as a joke, just a bunch of brain dead zombies watching that, chilling out, hanging out, watching some Screech or whatever. AC Slater and the gang. Yeah, the show went for like a million seasons, and then it had 3 spin-offs, so it's definitely popular. Much like Supernatural, I feel like they just kind of kill anything they want, and they don't really care that these monsters are, you know, beings. Supernatural's really big on just wiping out things that aren't human. I don't know.
I'm
what
really
the code
glad that
does.
you gave this as the tiebreaker rather than like Ghost Manor. We'd be here all night.
Yep. That was a consideration I had, though. It would have probably worked better for everybody if I did. Digital Basic is encountering the problem. These new enemies don't like to be thrown. And because Kami does not rely on the throw as much, they're having an easier time. You like the pause screen?
It's a good pause screen.
Oh, nice. Sweep kick. That was beautiful. Sweep kick, dodge roll.
They're fighting the same guy right now. This is so close. They're no longer fighting the same
Oh,
guy.
I missed. I knew it would be close, like no matter what. It's gonna go wrong and some of the enemies are gonna take forever to kill. Sometimes it'll go great and you kill them instantly. By the way, if you get knocked down, you are practically a god in this. I don't know what Buffy's superpower is or whatever. I thought she was just some lady with mistakes, but apparently, I need to do some research on that show, because like, if she gets knocked down in this, they start draining her health very slowly, and then she stands back up, gets her full bar back, and that red bar is her real health. The green one is just the stamina meter. They'll never kill her. Not in a million years. She is not going to die to these guys. You can't fail.
It seems like you'd have to like put down the Game Boy for a few minutes to actually die.
Inevitable victory here if you just do anything. If you just... I guess the only way you could lose is not understanding how to kill the enemies. So that heart right there is for the red bar. It's a full heal. And neither player has taken any damage at all. Okami took like 1 tick of red damage. And there's full heals lying around for you. There's a clearance cell and bicycles. What can go wrong in this universe? Nothing. Ooh, ooh.
Sarah Michelle Gellar did good for herself. I'm happy for her. I hope wherever Sarah Michelle Gellar is right now, I hope she's having a great day.
So you can get her on speed bump. Race this game.
We can check.
Shoot for the moon. Okay, Okay, we're seeing some damage happen. See that? See all that damage that Digital Basics just took from a full bar of green being gone? Really powerful stuff. The PS2 Buffy game was pretty rough. Yeah, that's true.
Dude says, I really like the arrow pointing to where you go. The answer always being go right. More enemies fun.
And in this level, it's pointing upright for some reason. I don't know why. Because in level 1, it was pointing to the right. It's wrong. There's nothing up there. There's not like... I thought eventually I'd go to the ceiling or something, but no, you just keep going right. The ninja's at the end, waiting for you there, on the ground. And I think Okami is very close. Digital Basic has some ground to cover here. Oh, we've seen a second bloodletting. Brutal.
Wait.
What's with this guy? Jeez. They're pretty close to each other. But yeah, Digital Basic is still pulling in the back of this.
My favorite part of this level was the one where they fought the dude with the chain in his hand.
Yeah. The one that guards the guitar shop, he was my favorite chain man. Also the ninja, dead as easily as anyone else. Wow, that guy was tough.
Oh,
Well, that guy was a big mess.
Amazing. What an amazing game.
Listen, it doesn't matter how many years you train. One mistake in combat, you're done. Sorry, Ninja Man.
Everyone thinks they're tough until you get a stake through the heart.
Yeah. Digital Basic did it even faster. I love the sarcasm that must be dripping off of the sentence. Wow, that guy was tough.
What a great day.
Off the Blues, can you give me a wow, that guy was tough here in 3 seconds? We can sync it up. Are you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Wow, that guy was tough.
That guy was tough.
Wow, that guy was tough.
That guy was tough.
Thank you. Thank you. Soundboard's a gorgeous thing. I think Okami is our winner.
Alright.
What did you think of the festival?
I thought it was a lot of fun. Next year we'll have to make the games harder. Too many completions.
Yep, I agree. There shouldn't be any. We should see one in an hour. Just, which of these games do you want to devote your life to for an hour? Well, I'm gonna find somebody to host. I think I hear Skybills being on that.
Yeah, she's hooting and hollering behind me.
I'll host that. I'll see you later. Off the Blues, thanks for joining me.
No problem. Take care. Had
Happy
fun.
Halloween,
Happy
guys.
Halloween, everyone.
You have 32 minutes. Go enjoy it. See you later. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you liked the shows, I'm going to be pushing them subs and bits and patron pledges and all that as we go into November. October's rest time of me catching up on September's goals is complete. So the new one is... Oh, that huge damage shuffler.